Hi, this is Mike Lipkin, and this message is for anyone who has the courage to pitch their dreams to people who have the power to make their dreams come true. I'm talking about all those times when you just go for it. You make the call, you earn the meeting with the people who actually make the decision. You step into your moment of truth. You put it all on the line. You know it's all up to you now, and you swing for the fences. It's the sweetest feeling in the world when you win, and it could just be the worst feeling in the world when you don't. Well, this message is for the people with the guts to put themselves out there. It's for the people who are so hungry for success, they will risk failure over and over again. I am going to share with you how to sell a unicorn to pharaohs. So what is a unicorn, and who is a pharaoh, and what does it mean to sell one to the other? Well, a unicorn is a horse with a horn. It's enchanting, it's mythical, it's your secret sauce that could be worth millions of dollars. It's the power to give your prospects the thing that is most important to them. And a pharaoh is the one we are all hunting. They are the influencers, the mobilizers, the ones with the money and the power. But they are also scared of losing their money and power. They are scared of failing and being fallible. They know they are as vulnerable as the rest of us, and they know they are dependent on those who can keep them on their thrones. So what's the magic formula? How do you sell unicorns to pharaohs? Well, let's turn to the first pitchman in the Bible, Joseph, because while technology changes, the themes are timeless. You may know Joseph's story, but not like I'm about to tell it. Joseph was the first millennial. He was his father's favorite son. He believed he was destined for great things, and his father loved him for it. And we all know that when you are the favorite, you make enemies. And those enemies can even be your brothers. In fact, they can be the deadliest enemies. Joseph was also a dreamer, but he wasn't content to keep the dreams in his head. He wanted to share his dreams with everyone he met. So he told his brothers that the sun, the moon, and the stars would bow down to him. And that really pissed them off, because they were just sheep herders trapped in their own mediocrity. They were scared of ambition. In fact, they were so angry with his arrogance that they stripped him bare, threw him into a pit, and sold him into slavery. But you cannot deny destiny. Joseph was sold to a wealthy mogul called Potiphar. He immediately adapted to his new environment. He was the master of disruption. He became head of Potiphar's household and a trusted advisor. But he also became the victim of sexual harassment. Potiphar's wife had the hots for him, and she sexually assaulted Joseph, who literally had to run away with his coat in her hand. Even worse, she accused Joseph of attempted rape, and as an outsider, he had no champions, so he went to prison. In prison, Joseph proved his resilience. He gained the confidence of the jailer. He knew his job was to make the jailer look good, and soon Joseph was the head capo. He was a master community organizer. And while he was in prison, he met two servants of the pharaoh who were in prison because they had displeased the pharaoh. They were the baker and the cupbearer, and they both shared their dreams with Joseph because he was so empathetic. He told the baker that he would be beheaded within 3 days. And then he told the cupbearer that he would soon be back at his post at Pharaoh's side. His only request of the cupbearer was that he mention Joseph to the pharaoh. Like any good pitchman, Joseph asked for referrals. But of course, the cupbearer forgot all about him. However, 2 years later, the pharaoh sensed a bubble was coming. he had these weird dreams. 7 fat cows being eaten by 7 thin cows, and 7 healthy sheaves of wheat being eaten by 7 diseased sheaves of wheat. He sensed there was going to be a catastrophe, but he didn't know what, and he didn't know when, and he didn't know what to do. He couldn't find anyone to help him. And that's when the cupbearer remembered Joseph. He told the Pharaoh about Joseph's ability to predict the future with uncanny accuracy. So the Pharaoh called for Joseph and shared his fears with him. Joseph decoded his dilemma. He predicted that there would be a 7-year bull run of abundance followed by 7 bare years of famine. He was so compelling that the Pharaoh made him his chief operating officer, and Joseph did brilliantly. He made Egypt the warehouse of wheat to the world, the only supplier at the height of scarcity. And eventually, even his brothers that sold him into slavery were forced to beg him for food. And after screwing with their minds a little bit, he forgave them wholeheartedly and funded their retirement in a great location. Great story, right? So what can we learn from Joseph's story? What is the Joseph pitch code? Well, number 1, be prolific. Tell your dream to everyone. 99 out of 100 will diss you. They'll be skeptical and cynical, indifferent or critical. They'll say no, not now, not never. Johnny Walker says keep on walking. I say keep on talking, keep on pitching. The more you talk, the more you understand yourself and the better you become. Second, believe in yourself no matter what. You will be thrown into the pit of despair by yourself, your detractors, and the pharaohs who are just not interested. The pit is where you need to double down on your passion. That's where you dig in, not give in. Resilience is the ability to keep going from setback to setback without losing your passion. Look up so you can see the stars, the moon, and the sun. Someone is coming for you if you keep looking for them. Third, protect your integrity. Don't be derailed by distraction. It can come in the form of pride, lust, greed, envy, gluttony, sloth, or wrath. And don't dilute your vision. Hold fast, hold strong. Make it bigger, not weaker. Develop a reputation for reliability. Trust is the ultimate resource. Trust in yourself and others will trust in you. You know, Kitten Ace, the new chain by Chip Wilson, founder of Lululemon, gets it right. WINW. Without integrity, nothing works. You are your word is your reputation, and your reputation is the ticket to the Pharaoh. Don't sell out, buy in. 4, model the future. The best way to predict the future is to create it. Lay out your plan with confidence and conviction. In a time of fear, make people feel optimistic. In a time of overwhelm, give them clarity. In a dog-eat-dog world, give people a sense of morality. Present your vision in a way that moves your pharaohs at the deepest level. Talk with a conviction that defies resistance. Translate the moving images in your mind into pieces and things and signs that your pharaohs can see, hear, or touch. Be a time machine. Transport pharaohs into the future through the power of your ideas connecting with theirs. 5, talk truth to power. Raise the level of your conversation. Make every conversation a masterpiece. Deliver a high R.O.T, return on time. Thrill the pharaohs with your perspective, your knowledge, your subject matter expertise, your insights, and most importantly, your understanding of how you can enhance their power. Pharaohs are scared of the bubble. They are scared of being mortal. So make them feel legendary. Fuel their fire. Feed their ego intelligently. Look them in the eyes. Don't be intimidated. They are the ones who need you. They just don't know it until you prove it to them. It takes courage, it takes character, it takes brilliance. But if you cannot turn fear into fuel, you will be stuck at the gates of paradise. 6, be great at the grind. This is the holy grail. The idea is just the spark, but any idea sounds obvious in hindsight. The idea alone will not enchant the pharaoh. The idea is just the horn of the unicorn. The rest is your ability to explain how you will execute at scale. The business of business is excruciatingly tiresome. It's the attention to every detail. It's the process that specifies every milestone in granular facts. It's the ability to go 15 rounds of raising money and then come back swinging for more. It's the stamina you need at a Michael Phelps Olympian level. It's the discipline to do it right every time. That's how you take the pharaoh with you across the finish line. And finally, the seventh principle is forgive your detractors because you have to work with them again. Travel light. Anger works in the opposite way that you want it to. It erodes your well-being. It corrupts your happiness. It gets in the way of your clarity. Keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer. If you want to travel far, travel light. Just know that no one except sociopaths does things just to hurt you. They did what they thought was right at the time. Unicorns have scars. Their horns didn't just grow overnight. They are a result of insult after setback, after mistake, after failed promise, after wrong turn. There are too few pharaohs to make anyone your permanent enemy. This is Mike Lipkin, and I hope I've inspired you to sell your own unicorn to the pharaohs around you. Until the next time, remember, we are all real. It takes sweat to be mythical.